I feel like that's the mood of the town right now.
I agree.
It is go, go, go.
I'm not saying a word.
I mean, I can.
You can.
We are talking about and celebrating education and educators. Nominations for the MENA School Excellence Awards closes tomorrow. So if you are in school leadership, get that form in tonight. So it's closing tomorrow, Thursday, the 9th of October. These awards celebrate impact and achievement across the region's schools, and there's judging by education experts. Ceremony happening in February. The new for 2026 categories include sustainability, Emirati education, school development, and a STEM award alongside inclusion, staff and people wellbeing, school of the year, and more. So if your school does have some real evidence of real change, this is your last chance to put it forward. Now with Louise Dawson, inclusion expert and a judge for both last year's and the upcoming awards, to lift the lid a little bit. Lovely to have you with us again, Louise. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for just rushed over from accessibility. So it's
goodness.
been a full-on week.
Good. I feel like that's the mood of the town right now.
I agree.
It is go, go, go. And thank you for making time today and explaining a little bit about maybe what happens inside the judging room. Would you mind tell us how the process works, from individual scoring all the way through to that, red carpet night where the winners are announced?
And it is a wonderful night. So schools can apply. They nominate self-nomination. So you can nominate yourself as a school or as a person, depending on your category. You nominate, they all go into the pot. Then as a judge, we are given all of the evidence for all of the schools that apply. So for some categories, that might only be 3 schools. For some categories, that might be 20 schools. And so then we are given a criteria that the schools have to meet. So even if we know the schools and we know, if it's not in the evidence, we're not allowed to use it. Mm-hmm. So we then categorise ourselves as individuals. So we spend hours poring over the evidence and coming up with our own top 3. We categorise all of them. When we then come together with the other judges, so usually that's online because many of the judges are across the world. So they have independent judges who are outside the country, they have judges inside the country, all different people. And then we come together on a specific time and a date, usually online, and then we battle it out.
How interesting.
I know it is. It's really good. It's really interesting how different people perceive evidence in different ways. Mm-hmm. So that diversity of a panel really it's very important, makes a difference.
Now, as I said, you are an inclusion expert, but you're not a judge in the inclusion category, which I find really interesting and actually very insightful in some ways. Why are you not?
So obviously, I know this area incredibly well.
Know everyone.
And I know all of the heads of inclusion. And I also don't feel that you could award somebody a head of inclusion, best head of inclusion. So you can say someone's a best employer or best for staff wellbeing, but actually inclusion is down to so much more than the person sat in the seat. So you've got, your owners, your leadership team, the government. You've got so many things that influence the head of inclusion, but also, as I know everyone, I feel like it would be really unethical of me to try and then pick one of they're not friends, they're peers, they're colleagues.
But people that you rate as individuals and their intentions, perhaps,
and I think it would demean them winning as well, because if they won on their merit, people would say, oh, well, that's because you're Louise's friend.
So which categories are you going to be judging then?
Thank you. I'm doing staff wellbeing and I'm doing employer of the year. Really interesting. Yes, interesting how they categorise themselves.
Well, and tell us a little bit about that then, because there must be very different contexts, size of school, I guess, fee level, different curricula, smaller schools, older schools, newer schools. How is that all taken into account to be truly fair?
You have a criteria, and it's how do they submit the evidence for that criteria. So it's not based on fee, it's not based on culture, it's not based on curriculum. None of that takes any place in the judging criteria. So it will be employer of the year, give us some examples of when you feel you've done well. Mm-hmm. Any school can do that. Staff wellbeing, give us some examples of what you have done for your staff, any data that backs up what you've done for your staff, any measurements that you've got, any photographs, any videos you put in that evidence, and we can only judge it based on that evidence. So even if I know that somebody did an event, they haven't mentioned it.
Or even if you know all of those teachers are miserable at that school.
I'm not saying a word.
I mean, I can.
You can.
No, but I think what's really interesting is there actually are very few opportunities to celebrate schools and educators and teachers. And I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity, to be honest. I think it's really lovely. We had Global Teacher Day, over the weekend, and when we were talking last week on the show about the impact that individual teachers can have on lives, some of the messages were so moving.
Yeah.
Teachers who have literally changed the course of people's lives.
It only takes one person. It doesn't even have to be a teacher, but one person can change anybody's life. And I think that, that whole ethos of inclusion about being kind and being, warm and being sincere, anybody has that impact on anybody's. I think there are pros and cons when it comes to awards. I truly do. And I am always heavy-hearted when I'm asked to judge. I think I'm on 3 judging panels for 3 different organisations this year, because it does celebrate good practice. So we like that, and we like that it motivates and gives recognition to people that are doing it well. It's a behaviour technique in a classroom as well. If you go into a classroom and everyone is jostling and misbehaving and being loud, if you can shout and say, sit down, be quiet, but actually it has very little impact. But if you say, oh, I like that you're sitting nicely, if you pick out 1 or 2 children who are doing well, the others will go, I want some of that.
Please.
So awards can do that. It can make people feel like they can share great ideas and they can be recognised, and that is motivating. There is the converse. You are self-nominated, so therefore we think, these schools, but that school should have entered, and that school should have entered.
Well, that's why we're talking today, because maybe
you have to enter. You've got to be in it to win it.
But you do, and I think sometimes individuals might feel a bit shy about shouting from the rooftops that I'm doing a really good job, or I think my boss needs recognition.
It's free, guys.
All right,
put a video together.
We're going to make it easy. If you want to send me the word schools, I will send you the landing page for the MENA School Excellence Awards, because time really is ticking. The nominations do close tomorrow.
They've extended it. I rang them up and asked them if they could extend it, and they've extended it to Monday at 9:00 our time.
Okay.
So
there you go, guys. That's your weekend homework to get those nominations in. And as I said, some new categories this year: sustainability, Emirati education, school development, STEM. We've also got new schools that have opened since the awards last year. So I think it's it's such a dynamic space.
Yes.
We've got new people arriving in Dubai all the time. Paralysis of choice when it comes to schools. I know you have a huge number of people reaching out to you from both inside and outside the UAE who are just saying, help us make a decision here.
It's a very difficult landscape to navigate. I can't remember if it's 17 or 18 different curriculums in our schools now. I don't think people realise the choice that you have. And then within those curriculums, you've got your outstanding schools, all the levels, all the fee structures, and it is really hard to navigate. We've all landed here and had that challenge. Those of us who landed 15 years ago had the challenge, but not quite as much as we do now.
No, certainly not.
It's 3 times bigger, that choice.
And I know there's, I see it all the time on the message board saying, we're considering a move to Dubai. Is this salary enough? Which school should we be looking at for this criteria? And there's so much to be said. Yes, for having an award, and yes, having a rating, or, whatever that means to you. But to actually get into a school and look around and speak to people that are going to be in contact with your kids, whether they excel in certain areas or subjects, or they do need extra support. Inclusion is a criteria, for you as a family. It's really, really hard to navigate from a distance, and having someone on ground like you can be so insightful.
Not just me. There's lots of us around.
No, but you know what I mean.
No, I think every child and every family requires something different. I think there's a lot to be said for how you feel when you walk into a school. When I walk into a school, I'm going to feel differently to the way that you feel when you walk into a school, because we all naturally look. Some want big, some want small, some want our children to get lost in the system, some children want to excel and stand out. But you've got gifted and talented children, you've got second language children, you've got children who have social emotional difficulty, you have your inclusion piece, but you've also got your children who you might want to choose your school based on sports or based on food nutrition. The criteria for every family is different, and that's why it becomes so tricky.
It really is. We were just talking on Monday about Arbor School getting the Excellence Prize for for its eco efforts, and whereas we chose our school genuinely, and I'm going to be completely frank, it was close to home.
Yep.
It was in our affordability bracket.
Yep.
And it had a lovely feel to it. And what was lovely about the school that we chose for the girls is they were later to win, the happiest school in Dubai. And that was something that made me really happy every time I saw that sign outside the school. Whereas there are some schools I see and they're talking, shouting about their scores and their grades. And for some people, that's what they're looking for. Whereas for me, it's not.
But there are some children that fit into that category as well.
And it's so individual.
Absolutely.
And I think, for me, it's all about the information. It's all about the experts. And sometimes that might mean getting a guiding hand from someone outside of a school. Sure. But sometimes it's boots on ground.
I'm independent. I think that's the key. I'm not selling you anything.
No.
And
more fool you, because you could be making a fortune.
I could be, but that's not there.
But I think honestly,
I try and make my money from schools.
But with the MENA School Excellence Awards, this is a chance for schools to, have the light shone on them that they deserve, and to have someone with the credibility of you, Louise, kind of behind the scenes on that judging panel.
There's some amazing judges this year. Have you looked at the panel? We've got people like David Muir, really good friend, Sajid Al-Bashir, she's helping with the Emiratis, I think, and so a real local cultural perspective on that. Mary Rose Connolly, who's on my wellbeing judging panel, she was at Aquila and she's doing some phenomenal work out there on that. And then you've got Bill Turner, so he's coming back. So he was, and Alison Turner were at King's Dubai and King's Al Barsha. So they're long-time Dubai supporters. And so to see them judging as well in a more relevant context now, it's wonderful to see all these people.
So a lot of hard work going on between now and February, and then everyone gets their glad rags on and keeps their fingers crossed. But thank you, Louise, for being with us. For anyone that wants to connect with you around inclusion support and the insights, whether they are literally new to Dubai or they're facing struggles and frustrations about getting support they need. If people want to send me the word Louise Inclusion. Everything is Louise Inclusion, all social media. I'll send you Louise's details. And I've had a number of people sending me the word school to 4001. Louise saying there, hot off the press. The deadline has been extended to Monday.
Purely for your listeners.
There you go, Dubai Eye. But if your school is doing something really special and deserves the recognition of the MENA School Excellence Awards, as we said, you've got to be in it to win it. Send me the word school. I'll send you the link, and then might see you on the big night.
Yeah, the more nominations, the quieter I'll be, because I'll have a lot more reading to do.
There you go.
So if you want me quiet, send in a nomination.
4001. Louise, thank you so much.
Very welcome.
I'm sure I will see you before February, but in the meantime, thank you for all you do. And of course, if you want Louise's details, Louise, and if you want details of the awards, send me the word school 4001.
Dubai Eye 103.8